Hey everybody, it's Rayman. Sega Saturn version. But I'm under the impression they're pretty similar, the first game.
A funny little guy with the disconnected arms.
He's pretty funny. Look how big he is.
Well, if our players are ready, we can go ahead and give them the countdown. We're giving them 30 minutes on the clock to beat Rayman, and that won't happen. They won't beat it, but we'll see how much progress they can make.
Ready to go?
All right. Yeah, Subwoofers isn't on the right screen. I told them to get started from the level select, but I'm sure Subwoofers will get in there pretty fast as soon as that countdown pops in.
There are at least 4 of these games, so somebody must be buying them. I don't know a whole lot about Rayman. I've played it before, mostly because I was going through the Jaguar library, and it is easily the best game on it, just because it's not only for that system.
The first time I ever encountered Rayman was, I think I borrowed or rented or bought a copy of the 3D one that was on the Wii, I think? I don't know how much of what I'm saying is accurate, but I remember playing it and not realizing that this is like a whole thing.
A lot of games on the Saturn are this artistically heavy. It's something I've noticed. It's not just Rayman here.
It's a really pretty game. It's fairly well liked in the speedrunning community as far as I understand. I've never played a Rayman game, but I see the appeal.
Grabbing audio from Akame Games.
They get a reputation for being fairly challenging, but I don't know, I played Bubsy. Oh wait, that's right. Didn't Rabbids come from Rayman? Oh no, Rayman got minionized.
Is that right?
Poor Rayman.
Sweet. Good for him. He got guns in the Mario game.
Suddenly I feel a lot of pity for Rayman. So how many Rabbids can we expect to see in this game then? None. That's an embarrassing number.
Yeah, that's pathetic. I have that many.
If I'd want to see 0 Rabbids, I would just walk around my house.
Okay, 4 games was a bit of an understatement. There's 45 Rayman games.
Okay, but how many of those are real Rayman games? You know what I mean? Like, are they all just ports and minigame collections, or are they all actual distinct games?
Well, it depends on if you... There's 4 Rabbids games. There's an activity center. Rayman Junior 3. Does that count?
Probably.
Rayman Golf.
Rayman teaches typing.
Rayman Bowling. Rayman Kart. We're gonna do Rayman Kart next week. Throw it at him.
Yeah, y'all have to be careful with Smite when I'm out of town, because he'll throw the worst stuff at you because I can't stop him. How much of this did you play when you? I think you were doing this for Gong.
Probably 20 minutes. It's a
I get the
serviceable.
impression that this is an extremely long game, so I wonder how much you saw of it.
What are the characters do you know in Rayman?
I know about the Rabbids.
You know about
They had a
Goth
crossover with
Teensy?
Mario, and they made an XCOM game. None of this is intelligible. These are words that would kill a small Victorian child. Are there other characters I should know from the Rayman universe?
Admiral Razorbeard. Goth
Okay, are there any
Teensy.
characters I should know from
Glowbox.
Rayman?
Glowbox is his friend, his little frog friend, I guess. He's important. He shows up a lot. He's a
I just want to
coward,
put in
but
perspective that if someone's like, what characters do you know from the Mario universe? We agree that everyone should know Luigi and Yoshi, and no one's really going to know EGAD unless they've played Mario games, right? So which are the characters I'd be familiar with?
Glowbox is his little fella, his little friend. Apparently he's in quite a few games. He and his wife, Oglette, have 650 frog children. Good for him.
Okay, this is a question for the chat. Let's say that I know nothing about Rayman games. What games would I be looking to really understand Rayman properly, right? Like, if it's Kingdom Hearts, well, don't play Kingdom Hearts. But if it's like any other series, there's like a subset of the games you can say, these are the ones you should play. Just Rayman 2, got it.
Rayman was named Best New Character of 1995 by Electronic Gaming Monthly, who probably went out of business after saying that. No, they're still running. Damn, who's reading this thing? Imagine in 1995, your favorite character's Rayman. Throw it at me. Nothing else came out that year? That's the year of Chrono Trigger.
Yeah, Electronic Gaming Monthly reviewed Pugsy well. Electronic Gaming Monthly said, fun, yes. Pugsy's a great game for kids and adults.
This game's a little silly. Super Tempo was one that I was considering instead of this, but I loaded it up, and when you touch the flag in that game, some dude pisses on it until it falls over, and that's how you, like, that's like victory animation. So I'm like, maybe we don't want this one. There's like a pet cemetery, you get attacked by a bunch of animals. I thought it was a bit rude. I thought we'd be a little bit more lighthearted with Rayman here.
Little did you know that you gave them an impossible task of playing Rayman.
Oh, he's jamming. Well, now I just gotta see what games came out in 1995 so I can roast this magazine. Killer Instinct, I'm pretty sure.
I told them in chat that they'd be evaluated based on the number of stages they complete. So however they interpret that, whatever they feel is the best strategy for that. I don't know a lot about this game, so I don't know the answer to that question. I told them that they would be evaluated on stages.
Well, they said new characters, so there's just pretty much nothing in Doom 2 that would be interesting. Twisted Metal is probably a big one for us. Us losers who gamed in the 90s and thought that game was cool.
Imagine liking Twisted Metal.
Yeah, pretty sick. Pretty low quality opinions for me to have, but hey, I like Tiny Rayman. That's pretty cool.
And that bug messed him up. So the photo you have on screen, by the way, I just want to comment on that. The presumably box art of Rayman. I think that there's so many video game characters and cartoon characters that should not get a camera facing portrait. It doesn't suit them well. Every time Yoshi has ever appeared with a camera facing portrait in a video game, it has been to everyone's horror. And I think Rayman is suffering from the same thing here.
Rayman's suffering from a lot of things.
Based on what games have come out recently, not from success.
Got me switching stages. Something about the tiny stage didn't work out. This is the Saturn version. That's a big library that I don't know anything about. It's got a lot of games that I would say have the arcade sort of experience. Graphically. The difficulty seems to be on par with that too, unfortunately. The quarter munching difficulty comes with it. But I like this art style.
Sadly, we're not even having them play the best Saturn game, which is Virtual Highlight.
I've heard of that one.
Can't believe you still haven't played Virtual Highlight.
You do one of my games, I'll do Virtual Highlight. I ain't scared.
What was it that you said you were going to trade me for 3D World Runner?
I forget. Something nasty, probably, because damn, what a game. I watched the speedrun for that. What a machine to be able to do what that person's doing.
Yeah, I've been doing retro achievements lately on stream, and I saw that game on retro achievements, and a bunch of people have beaten it. I kept thinking to myself, like, at what cost?
Pretty gross. It's not a long game though, so I guess you can just throw at it until you finally pull it off.
Right.
But yeah. Were you able to use like saves on that states?
You can if you. It depends on how you play. So on retro achievements, if you want to use like save states and rewind, you're welcome to, but you don't. You earn like a separate bank of points. They refer to them as hardcore and softcore points. So if you use save states and rewind, they just mark it as achieving it in softcore mode. Where with if you don't use those things.
Neat. I was looking into that a little bit. But yeah, 3D World Runner is
a lot of fun.
gross.
I have been really surprised by it. I kind of hope more people check it out. There's a lot of games on there with unique challenges, ways to play the game that you wouldn't otherwise usually. Yeah, BizHawk 2.9 already supports it out of the box. If you have BizHawk 2.9 installed, you already can just turn on retro achievements and earn them as you play games.
Well, I like that UI you got on screen.
Yeah, I can set you up with any of it if you want to mess around with it. It's a lot of fun. You should do you specifically, you in particular, Smite should do the A Link to the Past set because it has some cool challenges that I think you'd really enjoy.
Yeah, I was harassing you doing that. I don't know if you like my comedy when I come in and make stupid jokes. Can't tell if you
I
just...
like your comedy. Just getting my ass beat both by the game and by chat.
Sometimes you either don't see it or ignore me, and I figure you just go to bed steaming mad. What a stupid guy. That guy's jokes suck.
No, I'm mad that you're funnier than me in chat.
Anyway, yeah, this game is kind of illustrative of PlayStation's lack. I feel like you can compare the Saturn and PlayStation technically, but it doesn't have games that look like and feel like this. It just doesn't have them. They're just not a library for that. They almost always are polygonal flight sim. I love the PlayStation library. I grew up with that, but it just doesn't have games like this. Platformers, not really their thing.
Especially 2D platformers. I feel like it's really rare to find a good 2D platformer on the PlayStation.
Yeah, a whole bunch of lousy in my... I don't like 3D platformers, and the ones that are on the PlayStation aren't good ones also. Like Medieval and stuff like that are okay, and they're the top tier. They're the best you get.
A long time ago, I played a little bit of a 2D platformer for the PlayStation for a mystery tournament. It was like the Adventures of Little Billy or something. I don't even... That doesn't sound like the right name. But I remember being like, oh, this is really impressive. I wish there were more cool 2D platformers for the PlayStation.
Yeah, like this game's on it, and it's unusual, but this is like a standard Saturn game.
The Hercules game for the PlayStation is really good looking, like a really good looking game.
It's also, it's definitely a Kuso game. Oof.
Sure.
That's not the Disney Hercules, right? There's another one. I think that's the one that's on the PlayStation.
Yeah, it's the Disney's Hercules, isn't it?
There's
By the way,
another
the game I was trying to think of was The Adventure of Little Ralph.
There's this game called Herc's Adventure. I think that's PlayStation. That ain't great.
Yeah, Herc's Adventure is the LucasArts one, which I have on several occasions tried to play through, and it is very hard.
I beat it. And the
You've beaten Herc's Adventure?
Yeah. YouTube told me I didn't know what I was doing. It's one of those guys got angry.
Gotcha. It's a game that I've had sitting on my backlog that I would really like to finish, but like every time I've sat down to play it, I'll play it for like 1 6-hour session. I walk away like, man, that game's got hands, and then don't pick it back up.
It's not great.
Rob is under the impression that he's soft locked. Or perhaps was. Oh no, I think he has since made progress on that.
I actually just watched Hercules the movie the other day.
Oh,
because I've been watching Greek mythology. Thought I'd see how inaccurate it is, because I felt like in my head it was. Then I watched it and realized, yes, it sure is.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like of all the properties that Disney has adapted into stories, Hercules is probably the one that deviates the furthest from being anything related to mythology.
It's definitely pretty far out there. This music land gives me Bubsy 2 vibes. Especially the sharps being the spikes. That concept, that joke, or whatever you want to call it. That's a cool drum, though.
It looks good. I love these big chunky sprites that you get in platforms like this, between like the Saturn and the PSX, and not being limited to the, 8x8, 8x16 that you get with some of the older consoles. I can definitely see why Rayman is, despite its difficulty, beloved. Which, I mean, maybe it's not across the board, but from people I know, it seems to be fairly beloved. It just seems to be a very good-looking game, well put together, just maybe very hard.
Yeah! I guess that's Rayman's voice?
Oh no, I never thought about that. I've heard that sound effect so many times because Spike Vegeta uses Rayman sounds as his alert sounds. I've never thought about the fact that that might be what Rayman sounds like.
Yeah! 90s. This cartoon wind up. It's not great for you sometimes. I'm watching Digi do these platforms. Nice.
Platforming definitely feels very challenging. Pretty unforgiving in places. And as our players have mentioned in Discord, there's a few times where it just feels like the game is expecting you to be psychic. Just know what's coming before you see it.
Forget 3D World Runner. I think you should do one of the Castlevanias on the DS. Yeah, yeah. Dual screen. Double the Castlevania. Is the checkpoint that picture taking?
Oh, is that what that is? I kept seeing the little, like, spot where you get your photograph taken. It didn't occur to me that that's probably just like a cute way of telegraphing a checkpoint. That's actually really adorable.
I've seen this platform in Celeste, the one you move around like this.
Yeah.
Grasshopper's got CQC.
Yeah, subwoofers. Subwoofers was also getting messed up by these little bugs.
They take 5 hits. Well, not bad for an intro game. Starting a series 45 deep. How many Mario games do you think there are?
Just 45 on the NES and SNES.
Yeah, we just over 200. I'm just leave it at that. Just don't even count. There's over 1, you know.
It's more than 1. That's all you need to know. Okay, now I can't stop thinking about whether or not that sound effect is supposed to be Rayman's voice.
Who else would it be?
I don't know, but there's like multiple voices in that sound effect.
What did you think?
And I'm more confused than I started.
Give me Rayman's voice. Well, if you were a voice actor.
Well, it's probably that laugh at the end. That
You would expect it to be like, yeah, I'm Rayman. But it's actually, yeah. Yeah. Rayman.
unfortunate.
So what's Rayman's abilities here that are unique? Ledge grabbing, throwing his arms. Helicopter hair someday. He seems like he's made out of a bunch of little fellas. When they
So
get
how would you
upset,
say our
they-
players did in this race?
They seem like they're all getting held up on the same areas.
We'll
Which
call
is
it a draw.
It's a pretty busy area, this music zone. The people who are getting past it are in the blue zone right now, but everyone's still here.
This reminds me so much of like Bubsy and Sonic level design, where it's like there's a ton of little tunnels. Feel free to explore all of them. Most of them are not worth your effort.
It's like the bad levels in Sonic. No offense, Rayman. It's like the end of heck, what's that Metro Zone at the end of Sonic 1 or 2? The one no one likes. It's 3 levels long. It's like the whole game is kind of designed that way. It's got a lot of traps and not enough support for you.
Was that not a boss that Patty just walked past? Was that just like a normal guy that took up the whole screen?
Gorgeous game. Sound design's alright, I guess. This is what I expected from Rayman 1. It's what I remember. It's tough. It's interesting to look at. The stage design is mean. That's where most of the difficulty comes from. He's a little sluggish for what they're asking for. Not like the characters in Portrait of Ruin, who control great, and what a game it would be. You know, in Portrait of Ruin, when you get double jump, you can do backflips and drop kicks on skeletons. You can stay in the air. Yeah.
That's pretty impressive. I mean, if you're into that.
Oof! I was watching the roll on dude's screen, but one fella is enough to mess that up. Because Rayman can't get his momentum. You can throw pies and paper airplanes, that's true.
So why is it people like Rayman, but they don't like Bubsy? This feels like everything that's wrong with this game is all the things that are wrong with Bubsy.
I think it's actually got the opposite problem. This is like snail-paced death. It's unavoidable versus super speed death, which is also unavoidable. I personally would opt for the super speed. At least I'm moving fast when I die. But I can see a lot of style here. You do have a health bar of sorts.
Yeah, I guess I see it now, the health bar.
I think Bubsy 2 is the game I would actually compare it to. Because it's got a lot of level design like it as well. Time is up.
That's our time.
And Bubsy 2 does have a health bar. Yeah!
So it looks like the winner of this race is Patty Bees, and I don't know how to call the rest of it. He seems to have entered a stage that no one else has reached.
It looks like it's part of the music stage yet, but yeah, a new area in it. A couple people made it to the blue zone. I think everyone did actually make it to the back half of music zone.
That seems probably correct.
Hey Rayman. Nice work. Really earning that
race.
New character 1995 champ. I mean, I guess people really got into him because he, you know, got a ton of games. But I think it was an empty market. I don't think there were very many games like this around. Like, this is early 90s, but it has the graphics of that Saturn and PlayStation offered.
Are you still going after this?
Not me, what are you into?
What am I into?
Yeah,
I'm not doing anything tonight.
What you been
No,
into?
I'm gonna relax. I've been doing retro achievements. I've been playing a whole bunch of games that I've already got some familiarity with, and just kind of getting a chance to replay them. So I played through a bunch of Mario games, DK94. I started playing Legend of Zelda Parallel Worlds today, so pray for me.
Nice. Yeah, I saw a little bit of that. I played that one time. I don't remember anything about it. Thanks for joining us, folks. I might be interested in that if you feel like helping me set up the UI. That's a big part of my interest. Is the cool UI. Yeah. You know how it is.
For sure.
I saw the Zelda ones.
I'll get you all set up.
That one. Get started. Yeah. I've done Zelda so many times for the randomizer, and also just because I had to remake the challenges for that one like 4 times.
Yeah, you'd probably beat that set way faster than I did.
I remember going through, and it took like 7 or 8 hours. I'm like, ugh, I'm never playing this game again. Oh man, that was a pain. And then I just increased that time. I'll host Skybills. Hey, thanks for joining me off the blues.
Later.
Later.